Hello YouTube, RJ. In today's video, I want to talk about something I've been playing around on the ham radio with. And it's a new mode. It's digital, but it's not data. It's voice. And it's called FreeDV, Free Digital Voice. It's a very interesting system. And I'm going to pop up and show you their website where you can go and read more about it or download it if you want. So this is freedvs.org's website. It's a free download. It's totally open source. Nobody owns it. Although it has been given grants from the major manufacturers like Yaesu and ICOM and stuff. They're interested in it. And I want to tell you why I think that's important. I think this could be a real game changer in ham radio. And the reason for that is I believe, many people are going to probably chuckle about this, but I think this could be the next mode built into your radios. I think that's why the manufacturers are donating money to help this this open source project. I think they're looking to be able to build this into their radios once it's once they get to that point. There's still a lot of experimenting and improving going on in it. They've been playing with this for quite a long time, but until the last 8 months or so, it wasn't that great. But it's really come leaps and bounds in the last 8 months. Basically what it is it is a digital mode, just like if you're used to the 2 meter and stuff, DMR, Fusion for Yaesu. Those are digital modes on VHF, UHF. This is an HF digital mode for voice. Think of it as replacing single sideband. And why would you want to do that? Well, because there's a lot of promises. Just like in the UHF, VHF operations, what you find is your signal gets through more noise. It's like an FM radio. It's totally quiet when no one's speaking. People who are close to you on the band, you don't get splatter onto your frequency. You don't hear them at all. And I'm going to demo that. That's what this video is going to be about. I'm going to actually, what we're going to do is I'm going to jump over onto my radio and computer, and I'm going to kind of show you me making a QSO where we actually, what you're going to see is you're going to see me already having been speaking with this gentleman on digital, on FreeDV. And then what we've done is I've taught him into switching on the same frequency over to SSB. We're going to talk on SSB, same frequency, same power, same radio, everything. And then we're going to turn around and switch back to digital and let you see what this sounds like on SSB on this frequency right now at this moment with this setup and this propagation to what it's like when you go to DV. As soon as the manufacturers like Yaesu have started putting money into the game, little flags popped up for me and tells me that we're apt to see in the future where you go to your radio and you have AM, SSB, DV. Just like switching from AM to SSB, you'll switch SSB to DV on your radio. You won't need any additional equipment whatsoever. Now, currently, you need a computer. And what I've got on my bench, so that you understand my setup, is I have my Yaesu FT710. I have a USB cable from it to the computer, which has always been on there because that's how my logging software changes frequencies on my radio. Remote, CAT controls it. That same USB cable is doing all this in the background. You'll notice that I don't use my regular mic for DV. I'm going to use my wireless mic into my computer because you actually talk to the computer. It digitalizes your voice, keys your radio and transmits it. When you receive the data from the other station, it comes through the computer. The digital is turned back into audio, just like your cell phone does today, and it plays over the speakers. So of the computer, that is. Hey, let me jump over to the video I'd done previously, and we're going to pick up with me speaking analog. You'll hear me saying analog and digital, analog, SSB, to this gentleman in Georgia. And then we're going to switch back to DV, and you tell me what you think. I'd love to see some comments, give me some feedback. RJ, you're crazy. They're never going to do this. I hate it. I would never use it. I use it already. I love it. Let me know. Let me know what you think of it. And so we'll jump right over to the bench, and we'll see what we got. A completely new mode that takes over, sort of like SSB did from AM in the past. Over.
Exactly. Yeah. remember hearing about who was it that's switching over back in mid to late 50s when the SSB first came out. Yeah, I see. I've been playing around with it for about a month, and a little over a month there, and I've been steadily trying this out. And I've been putting out the word on some of the DMR type operations and all B-Star, and so obviously their digital voice enthusiasts operating it. So it's just something to check out. So I'm seeing more and more activity, and I'm sure you're aware of the netting route keep at 40 meters, they're all 7.183. I think it's where they're going to be 69 to 50 episodes. You didn't know that.
Yeah, I heard about it. I'm going to try to jump on there or whatever. But hey, do me one more favor. I just caught just a little clip of you talking and me talking here on analog. Can we jump back to digital and let me get just a little audio clip of the digital again?
Oh yeah, no problem. We'll be switching back to KS 4K.
Turn this off. Go to digital. And he'll come back in.
Not to jump in. Well, no, still there you go. So you're bouncing around wrong frequency a little bit, but I think you should have me now there, KS 4K.
Yeah, I have a little problem. I have a little problem with, I don't know what's going on, but it sometimes changes frequency on me. I hit the button to go back to digital and it swung the frequency of my radio off. And it was doing that before. Just it'll change my frequency like 600 hertz or whatever off. And so, I have to catch it and move it back. So I don't know if that's a bug or what it is. But yeah. So back to you.
Okay, are you running the hand lib setup for cat control on your rig? Yeah, I had a slight problem there at first. When I first got this thing set up, it worked fine, and then I went to run the little FT8, and then it started acting up, and I had to totally reset the program and to get the hand lib to work back on it. But yeah, that's interesting. I won't seem to have that problem. I can switch frequencies on the computer. If I got the frequency pre-programmed, there's a list that they originally start you out with, and you can add or delete whatever you want. But we had that problem. It tracks with the radio fairly well there at the moment. So I think it's just a configuration you got to check out or something. No, I can figure. But like I said, I'm not too familiar with them newer Yeezys. I got a couple of old ones, but just recently started using these Icon yet, so they seem to work pretty good with this. So it'll affect everything.
Yeah, I think what's going on is I think when my radio switches the data from analog, I think what it is they probably put an offset in the radio for like FT8 or whatever, and it might be triggering that. So I'll have to look and see if I can turn that off. But hey, I appreciate you coming back to me, and I appreciate you giving me the time to get a little of this. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that little demo of FreeDV on HF. I wanted to point out that at the end there, what you were looking at, when I popped the little box up in the top there, you were looking at what my left screen had running, and that's the FreeDV reporter. Now, what that is, you do not need internet for this at all. It's all being done over airwaves. But if you have internet on the computer that you're doing this with, you can check a little box on FreeDV's client and tell it to report your information to FreeDV Reporter. And that screen is the DV Reporter. And basically what it's doing is it's showing everybody that's reporting to FreeDV reporter, you can go down and choose, like, I want to see all the bands or just the band I'm on or a certain frequency. And it shows you everybody, in your filter. And then what's happening is you see everybody that's on using the FreeDV within the filters you've turned on. And when one of the lines turn red, it means that station's transmitting. When it turns that greenish teal color, it means that they're receiving it. So, like, if you key up and turn red and you see 3 stations turn teal, they're hearing you. They're receiving you, and they're getting enough signal that they can decode you and see you. And so that's kind of handy. Now, most of the stations that were on that frequency at that time, they were far off DX stations, but it just gives you one of the little things it can do. You do not have to do that. You don't have to have internet, and you don't have to check the box to report to FreeDV Reporter. You can leave that off, and you don't show up on that screen at all. But it's just kind of a neat thing. Lets you see kind of who's on and who's talking, and if you look at it, you can see all kinds of information. You can get the signal to noise ratio of how strong they're receiving you, how strong you can see how strong you're receiving them. It's just kind of a handy thing. It's a really neat system. I hope you might give it a try. It's not hard to set up, a little tricky on the audio settings, but there's some demos online that will walk you through it. It's a simple Windows program. I think there's a Linux program. I think they have different platforms. Absolutely free, as I said. So, hey, don't be afraid to give it a try. It's a blast. It's neat. It's amazing to be talking long distance on an HF rig with FM type quality. So anyway, hey, thanks for tuning in and checking it out. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, do me a favor, hit like, help the channel out. I appreciate it. But most of all, I hope to see you in the next video.